Hello and welcome to FMA Talk Live. I am Datu Tim, and this is my co-host.
PG Ties, everyone. Welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? How's everyone else doing out there?
That's a good question. Hey, you might want to check your microphone.
Might be using the wrong one.
Yeah. Never can tell.
How about now?
Oh, that's better.
All right.
So, well, there we go. Rich Parsons.
Master Rich, how you doing, sir? And Mr. Noah?
Noah, there we go. Yeah, yes, Ty sounds like across the room. Much better.
Good deal. Well, I get told that I should be across the room.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right. Well, so we're going to get into it because everything we would normally talk about, small talk, is what all about the show is today. So this was an interesting weekend. So first of all, our good friend Carlos Padaling, who's been on our show, who's heading to the Philippines as we speak with his family. He hosted a Goodwill Championship tournament this weekend. He kept telling me it's a Goodwill tournament, Goodwill tournament, Goodwill tournament. Okay.
Yep.
No problem. I register for the Goodwill tournament. You know, I'm going to throw support to my friend. I'm going to go down and promote our tournament that we're doing next year. We're going to do all the meet, greet, elbow shaking, or handshaking, elbow rubbing,
Right.
Slap the babies, kiss the mamas, whatever we got to do. So lo and behold, after I register, I find out that it's not just a Goodwill tournament. It is also the East Coast Qualifiers for Team USA to go compete in the World Championships for WEKAF this July in Cebu. So had a conversation with, after I was told this, I'm like, well, I don't want to compete, and they're like, what do you mean? I go, and here's the whole thing. I had no intention on competing. And the thing with WEKAF, what they normally do, which is World Eskrima Kali Arnis Federation, it's hard to find regular tournaments. What they usually are is a regional tournament that would feed into the nationals, which they would then pick their team for the country, which obviously is for the U.S., and then they would go compete in the World Championships. Now, the World Championships are every 2 years, and every other championship is done in the Philippines. So I don't know where the previous one was. I know where this one is. I don't know where the next one's going to be. But we did pitch an idea to them, but that's another story. So, my whole thing was, listen, if I had no intention on being on the team, I don't want to potentially take someone's spot. So I'll say, well, that's pretty bold of you thinking that. I go, well, if it's forms, it doesn't matter. If I'm first place, which, well, we'll talk about that. If I'm first place and I back out, everyone moves up a spot, and then they can choose from their people. Now, what they're doing per division, Matt Jones says hello. So what, if you're doing forms, and the person who plays first can't make it, the next person steps up. So what they do is for this year, they did one person from each division from the East Coast and one from each from the West Coast. So they didn't do a huge one where everyone comes together and they take the best of the best. Okay. So, all right, you got that. But let's say I go in and compete against someone, and in the first round, I fight who the best person was, and I win. Or the best person who is committed to going. See, it's not the best person. It's the best person who committed to going. So they lose in the first round. Okay. So now I go to the finals, I end up winning, and I decide this. I'm like, no, I had no intention on going. Well, taking the second place person isn't necessarily taking the best person, because I potentially had beat the best candidate that was willing to go. Well, that's what happened. Well, it could have happened. I mean, there's a the person who took. I'm not sure. Well, I took out somebody who was good, who was really good. And you know, he may have gone farther. He's definitely committed on going, and I wasn't planning on doing stuff. So ended up getting silver in stick fighting. And then I got gold in both single and double weapon forms, which I was very pleased with. This is really a test for my body, seeing what the car accident and stuff of that nature. So, and I went to physio today. So far, so good.
Okay.
Major. So,
Good.
Yeah. Now, BG tie. And then, of course, with registration came my WEKAF card.
That's right.
I am now a card carrying member. So, and I will, let me just, I'll pull up something here. But now, Ty had an interesting experience because he was invited to an event prior to that. And that event was a judge's certification course.
Yep.
So Ty is officially, what's the official title there, sir?
I got a judge's certificate for the WEKAF judging. It was a 3-day course, different days each weekend for 3 weeks, and then we showed up to the event. We got those certifications, and they used us. They got their training's worth. But it was really good experience. Not only the training, I get to familiarity with some rules I wasn't normally using. But also just being there, judging and being depended on. And I will say that they treated all the judges really, really well. There was no arguing. There was no, hey, you didn't see that, because you saw what you saw, and they went with that. And it was a great way of doing it, I thought.
So the medals were all gold. First, second, and third were done by the ribbon. So golds were or first place were blue, red here is the is second, and white would be third. So red, white, and blue for the United States. There was my VIP pass, because evidently I was a VIP. I didn't realize that. And then there is my card number. I don't know if that's 0037. I think it's 0037.
Yeah, I think so.
So, but I am now a WEKAF member. The WEKAF is now doomed.
There you go. Right.
I wouldn't go to any organization that would be willing to take me as a member. So,
it's a good time. They had. I was going to say they had people all the way from California, New Jersey, New York,
Guatemala.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So I got to see a good friend of mine, Linda Polito, who came all the way out. She's come to my tournaments in the past, and we did the Legends of FMA tour. She hung out. So she's planning on coming next year to our anniversary, the 25th anniversary of the World Mountain Race Alliance camp, as well as Ty and I and others celebrating their 60th birthdays together.
Yep.
Marty Millsip says hello, Datu.
Hey,
Tim.
Marty.
Thank you, Marty. Noah, did GM Remy students fight in WEKAF in the 80s and 90s? So there are a couple,
right?
And thank you, Noah. So Doug Pierre, a person we both know, would compete, and evidently he had a few students that would compete. And then and Ed Pilsitz, who I just was told he may no longer be with us. He actually was in the movie 12 Monkeys. Was it 12 Monkeys? 13
12
Monkeys. Well,
12
Monkeys.
Monkeys was a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in there with Bruce Willis.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he used to do stunts work as well.
Okay.
And then, but he was a world champ, and he was a machine. Who wrote the articles? Rick Mitchell. Rick Mitchell used to
Right.
fight WEKAF.
That's true. Yeah.
So Remy had stick fighting rules in the pink book, but they were more or less with the blade. So I didn't fight live stick. I fought padded. So it is the blade rules. I think there's some things they need to work out. I think the judges did a really good job with the continuous. I mean, Ty did both, and I think I had some. All the competitors, no one cared. We had a blast. It didn't matter.
Right.
You know, there was points I know that my opponent should have gotten on me, and vice versa. Okay, and we were both like, "Didn't you get that point?" I thought, but the problem was not the judges. So everyone's going to blame the judges. So they had this thing called the firing squad. So what happens is there's the table, and then the three judges line up in front of that, and they have their reason. But this is not a WEKAF world. This is a PCAF Philippines. You know that they were using their rules and their procedures. I think some of the procedures need to be revisited, and
it
a
would
little
have been
fine
good.
tuning.
Yeah, it would have been good to have the judges all around, because I can count a couple times where I thought I heard something, but I couldn't see what went to what because on the other side of a body, and there were no other judges over there to see it, right, because of the placement. So you can't call what you can't see. I got it.
Yeah, there you go. And then there you go. You're welcome, Datu T. Thank you. Yeah. So I mean, you're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen. There's a guy told me about back in the day. He said, "Call what you saw.
Mhm.
If you didn't see it, you don't call it. It's as simple as that."
Yep.
I think. Well, we talked about it. There was a couple little procedural things you had to call one way or another. And with
Right.
blade rules, there's a lot of simultaneous hits.
Yep.
I also think if you would have scored the head for 2 points, I think that would have because we'll say, well, if it's simultaneously either clash or 1 point, doesn't matter. Well, if a headshot's worth 2 and everything else worth 1, and someone hit me in the head while I went down for their leg, you could give points both ways, and it would actually make a difference. They did 3 1-minute rounds. I know it's because it's going for a championships thing. Personally, I'm just a straight 2-minute rounds, get it over and done with. And then I also like they didn't do there's no mercy rule.
Right.
Although didn't they say if you won 2 rounds in a row, it was over?
Yeah, 2 rounds of winning in a row, because you got to rinse out of 3. So once that's happened, you've already done it.
Yeah. So
and that counted even the vantage point. So sometimes that was
yeah. And the thing here is this though. And my issue with that is if I'm up 8-1, now all the effort I worked in doing that goes away in the second round.
Right.
My point is like, hey, I'm up by 7 points. You got to come get me. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, listen, it's and here's the thing. It doesn't matter to me what the rules are. If they're being consistently enforced,
right,
then I will, I don't care. It's fair.
Mm-hmm.
If the judges, I don't want to say they don't even have to be accurate, but if they're consistency is everything.
Right.
They say, well, they're not calling this. Yeah, but he's consistent. He's not calling that for everybody. It's not just you. It's everybody.
Right.
It's like, all right, like, so as an example, stepping out of the ring versus fighting out of the ring. Well, no, there's a rule about going out of the ring. So the question here is, what's the spirit of the rule? People will look at the black and white letter of the rule. Oh, he stepped out of bounds. Okay. No, the rule is about going out of bounds, avoiding conflict.
Right.
If you step on the line because not properly taped off or whatever, or the fight just happened to go out of bounds and you're the first person's foot to go out there, it's different. I mean, it's not like football, it's not like basketball. You are two combatants going back and forth, and sometimes things just overflow, Okay, so Carl says, good evening. How you doing,
Hey,
Carl?
Coral.
Let's see here. And then, this guy.
Yep. Michael.
We had a lot of fun. I mean, we had a blast to hang out with people. So Sonny from, so there's members from GSBA, which was the split off group. They were together. Now they're not. But Sonny was there. I hadn't seen him for years since, pre-COVID. And then I got to meet the international president of WEKAF. Bumped into Doug. You met Doug. Well, actually, no, I think you met Doug. He used to go to SMAP.
We had actually met. I just it didn't click that didn't make the link, but it was good to visit with him again.
Yeah, so I mean, we had some good times here and there.
Got to visit with Big John a little bit.
Yeah. So we had some fun. And it was good catching up with people, making new friends, seeing old friends. All good. And we'll get through it. I mean, I'm doing some things once here. So it was a really fun event. And then there's a after party over at the school, so we went to that.
It kept a pretty good pace up. He had a ambitious ending, hope for ending, but still didn't go as late as so many tournaments. We've all been to tournaments that were way after dark.
Once again, I understand that. Okay, so their goal is to get GSBA and WEKAF have the same goal: get it on the Olympics. I think that's a harder. I think it's easier to get padded in there because padded is blood rule or blade rules, and I think that's just an easier thing to do. And here's the reason why. So I know, and if there's people out there who are going to say this, that, and the other thing about which is better, it's not about what's better,
right?
Unfortunately, it's about what spectators can understand.
Yep.
So we would go to the Arnold Classic. I brought fighters down. We had a blast. They would do WEKAF style fighting, and you could throw kicks.
Okay.
That changed everything. But people would walk up and watch the fighting and go, how do you tell who wins? And I will say there was some shenanigans going on with judging at times as well. But, the thing here is let's think about this. Why does the UFC work? Knockout, tap out, choke out. Done. I mean, it's simple. Not as many fights go the distance as one would think,
Right. Boxing,
a lot of them go the distance, and then it's hard because you have to judge all the things like, well, in that round, he really did this. Yeah, but you missed this, this, and this. And it's just like, it's a marathon, and you got to know, like if it's I don't know if they do it in all these things, but like a 10-point must system, providing someone wins a round, Ty barely squeaks it out over me. So it's 10 him, 9 to me per judge. And that's depending on if each judge agrees with it. Right. But let's say the officials, and I always get the judge and referee is the center official, judge the scores. Right. So if the judges say that Ty wins barely, it's a close one, but Ty wins, it's 10-9, 10 to him, 9 to me, each judge. If all three agree, then that's 30-27.
Right.
But if it's a split decision, now it's a much closer match. If Ty beats me and it is solid, that was really good. Then it's 10-8. And that's a lot of people. I don't know how many people do the 10-8, 10-9. It's usually probably, Ty won, we'll give it 10-9. Because if you really destroy somebody, then it's 10-7.
Yeah, usually anybody got 10-8 at least yesterday or Saturday. If he got 10-8, it was because the person who was doing more poorly also got a disarm, so it's -1.
Yeah. And here's the question: is it -1 per person or -1 all for the top total score?
Off the total. So you could actually be winning the round,
Yeah.
and it would be normally 10-9. But if you got a disarm on yourself, right? You were disarmed and you're winning, then it's 9-9. It's a tie for that round.
See, and that would be the thing I would say. Well, personally, I'd still say who fought better.
Mhm.
See, I would take the point off see, and is it per person or the whole thing? Because that way you're double. I would like to sit down and actually get those rules right, because you just penalized them 3 times.
3 times?
Is it 1 point? If it's 1 point, it should come off the total of the 3 scores together.
Oh, no, it's for every judge that does it. So somebody could be scoring at 10-9
Right.
and you get 9-9.
So really, that's 3-point shift.
Maybe right. Sure, 3 off the total. Yep.
See, so what we do is when I do my continuous, it is 1 point off per disarm or drop. A drop is 1 point off the total score of the three judges.
Okay.
Because here's the thing here's what I would ask you. Well, actually, what I'd want you to do is judge who did better, not who dropped the stick. Because I'll use Ryan as an example. Ryan Monolopoulos, my fighter, he destroyed the guy's first 2 rounds. Actually, he won all 3 rounds.
Mhm.
But at the very last minute, in the last 10 seconds, he hit the guy so hard the stick fell out of his own hand.
Hmm.
But he lost the match because they automatically gave the other guy the round, and then they took the point off.
So this one you could actually have a tie, but you wouldn't necessarily. You can actually win a round too. So if both gets a disarm, the person who is doing better wins the round. But it's per round, right? So even if you were ahead 2 and then you lost that last one because of a disarm, you'd still win.
Here we go. So do they allow big enough gloves? Those smaller canes slip through their hand. So what a lot of people do is they cut out the palms of the sticks so they have the skin on the stick. And then let's do this here. Read this one because I'm not sure if I'm reading it right.
Let's see. Balintawak guys did well in the past. Now few compete. Dosipar's groups did well from California and Cebu back in the day.
When would you say, Noah,
When was the
define
past?
the past?
Right.
Because generally Balintawak people don't fight.
Not
Which
the
is
open
another
sparring type things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Duel, sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. They do a lot. They'll play. I don't know of many people. So the Ohio group of Bobbies, they like to fight. They would fight at the Arnold Classic. Actually,
Okay.
Elman was the one that would run it at times.
Okay.
And Michael brought a team, but
Right.
unfortunately, it wasn't a good representation of Balintawak. It turned into a Largo Mountain fight.
Ah, okay.
Like that Abanico drill he threw in for that twirling exercise Bobby does?
Yeah, I forget how many counts it is, but yeah.
Oh, no, I'm talking about how they walk back and forth on the
Oh,
floor.
yeah.
I mean, that's not Balintawak.
Right.
That's a Carenza walking back and forth, quasi semi-sparring-esque type thing that really isn't using their
It's a fun little
style.
drill.
Yeah.
Flow.
Yeah. So, not to be a jerk, just,
cooperative shadow, what you call it.
Yep.
Gives you something moving to focus while you flow. Carenza. But it's fun at times. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Oh,
what do we got here?
I got a whole I've been doing a bunch of rattan lately. Hey, Danny. What's going on,
how you doing, sir? From my old stomping grounds, LA. Of course, I was in the north, and I think he's in the south, Louisiana.
So, no, but I think, first of all, I think the judging was fair.
Because consistent and fair. Yeah.
I think they could have refined. Life is good. That's good to hear.
All right.
I'm not a big fan of the methodology. Think some things could be refined.
Mm.
But they've got rules. They can enforce them. They train people to do it.
Mm.
I think the scoring could be a little better. I'm not a fan on how they do the forms.
Mm.
I like things being efficient.
Mm.
And I think it's very time consuming. I understand what they do is that you each get a sheet and you fill it out. And the whole idea that I was told is that you can go back and tell people how they can improve. Well, I did the judging. I could tell people how to improve right away. Say,
Right.
You need to work on this. You need to work on that.
Right.
I get it. I'm used to tournaments. Okay, so how many people do you think were there?
I don't know. Let's see. Competing?
Yeah.
Maybe 100. I don't know.
Okay. So they had single weapons forms, double weapon forms, and there were some subdivisions between musical, creative, and traditional. I only did traditional. Then you had padded stick. Then you had padded knife, which was a debacle in one ring because the training knives were terrible, the fighting knives.
Yep.
So they used the wok knives, and someone got stabbed in the eye, or just outside the eye. And when I'm glad I didn't sign up, because before I said, oh, these are the knives. I thought they were cool trainers, and then I found out they were the sparring knives, and they were of course they were one of the sponsors of the tournament. I picked that knife up. There's no way in hell I would have actually preferred using my aluminum trainer.
Right.
Because here's the thing: you saw this, whatever it was made of, I think wood, with foam, dipped in foam, and that foam gave you the illusion of safety.
Right.
And then I hit it against a metal chair. My God, there's no way in hell I would use that in a sparring situation.
Yep.
So 2, 3, so you had, well, 3, because there's teams or whatever, or creative, 3 forms divisions, 2 padded weapon divisions. There's 5. Single and double stick and staff continuous fighting.
Yep.
Now, not everybody did staff. Staff was the minority of the group there.
I was surprised at how many people did do it, but yeah, it was
then there was team fighting as well.
That's right.
So, and we got out of there at 3:00. I think. Well, with the forms, I could have probably shaved off a half hour to an hour. If with protocols how I would have addressed. I don't think they were being. I don't think they were not efficient. I don't think the method was the method. The problem is the method of scoring is problematic if you're trying to do things in a fast manner.
Right. There was 5 areas you had to put a score in, and it couldn't be more than 10. And yeah.
The other thing too
that caught me off guard.
The other problem is they judge you right away.
Yeah. Yep.
So how do I get scored? How do you score the first person properly?
Right.
And if you gave that person, well, let's say you gave a 10 out of those 10s, what about the next guy if he or she was better? So.
Yep.
So there's definitely some areas that could be done better.
I know they had to wait on me a couple times, especially the first couple times, because I was trying to watch the whole thing before I start writing. Didn't have time to do that.
Yeah. So
I get the idea. I like you don't really prefer that in terms of what the expectations of use are. I remember going up to judges and asking them, "What's wrong with that?"
Yeah, I mean, there you go. I mean, yeah, there you go. So, it is what it is. You know, like I said,
It was fun, and like you said, the consistency I think is key, right? The fact that they trained the judges on the parts where it scores, that turned out to be useful, right?
I am going to say that I think the system, which once again, they went by a system, I would have recommended some changes, some refinements. That being said, everybody consistently did what was asked of them.
Mhm.
And that's the most important. I mean, yeah, you want people to be accurate. I always want them to be accurate, but consistency is the most. I don't want someone who's intermittently accurate.
Right.
If they're going to do a rule, if someone sat there and said they let them go out of bounds and they didn't do it, if they did it for everybody, then it's fine. If
Mhm.
everyone went out of bounds and no one called penalty on it, then that's fine. If someone was grabbing sticks and letting them, grab it longer, like doing a 5 count grab, if they always did a 5 count grab, then if every competitor in that ring had that same opportunity, then it doesn't matter. Now, there is no grand championship when it comes to this, people from other rings fighting each other. The fighter pool in the ring, they're all judged the same way. And I felt that was consistent there.
Yep. And I think everybody, as far as it goes with their experience, I think my impression of people, everybody had fun. Everybody had a good attitude. Everybody was, it was fun because there were some rivalries, and certainly the school spirits were the people represented in the larger groups, and that was great. But when all came push to shove, everybody was just happy to have been out there, and it was good to see. I could see that sometimes people were making an effort to one, build up the spirit, but also two, keep it in the bounds of good sportsmanship, which everybody did.
Yep. I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Now here's let's see, where and when are qualifiers for your next championship next year? Does this person have to qualify regionally?
No, they don't.
Yep.
The one I'm doing, we're putting teams together, but it's not something that something that needs to be done like that. Okay, what's this here? Here, this video.
Nadia Comaneci. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? That was the 80s, right? Or maybe
Like
70s. I don't know. It was a long time ago. Maybe it was 70s. Yeah, Nadia Comaneci. Wow.
Probably the 70s.
Yep. I think so, because I hadn't gone overseas yet. So yeah. So I wonder if anybody else here online has done one of these WEKAF tournaments recently, and if they have anything to add or ask.
I will say this because someone asked me on Facebook, because I put it out, and like, oh, did you have to be a member? You have to be a member to compete. Now, they may make you a member like they made us a member the day of the event, or at least made me the member. You had already taken the course and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was not a member prior. It came with my tournament fee. But generally speaking, you're going to, it's for their organization. Now, I don't think they don't let people in. I mean, there's always potential of you getting kicked out of any organization that can happen, but they don't generally, it's pretty open there. But, But
yep, I don't see any other questions so far.
Yeah.
So do you know if you're going to go to in July? The Cebu?
Okay, so I already checked. Okay, so first of all, I have a SEALOT camp that starts or ends the first day of the work. So we have our SEALOT camp that we're hosting. The WEKAF championships, the world start Sunday, July 21st. And usually the Sunday and the Monday is the meet, greet, and all that other stuff. And then it's the 3 days of the tournament and then Grandmaster seminars at the end. So I have a debacle because I am currently the gold. Well, actually, we talked about it. I actually qualify for all three events because they didn't do a 57 and over on the West Coast. So they're taking the top two from this tournament. So I qualify for padded stick fighting as well. So all three I can compete in. Now, the question here is there's also other divisions that may be open. Like there might be a musical forms division in my age group that I didn't, that might be there. And I might consider doing that as well, because if it's open and I'm already there, so I now have to figure out. So here's the thing. I was planning on being at the tournament, but I wasn't planning on competing. I was planning on visiting. Like I've done the GSBS a couple times already. They did their worlds in Vegas. Carl and I went. Then they did Rome. Carl and I went again because I also went to Jeff Espino's camp and taught there. So, things happen, blah, blah, blah. Now I just don't know. I'm in that. I think I'm doing it.
Okay. All right.
I've already checked. I can change the SEALOT camp. Who's Alex Jones? I'm missing this. Or he's talking about you.
I don't know.
Oh, hey, listen, Renee. I don't know what's going on. Renee says that he says he can't see my videos or posts. So then I messaged him. I'm like, hey, get over here. And he looked, and I found him on as a not that he's my fan, but he's liked my Datu page, and he's not blocked. Being blocked, you're not blocked. I looked at that. You're not blocked on my page. I don't know what's going on. I went in the background.
I was going to say, what is the permission settings on those posts when they get posted? World, I hope.
Well, it's just maybe that's, I don't know. I'll have to look again, because that is that is what my social media company does.
Right. Let me see. And it's posted under Datu Tim or Tim? Tim Hartman.
Datu Hartman.
Datu Hartman. Datu Hartman athlete. Okay.
I wouldn't go that far.
That's what it says. So let me see. I'm trying to see. It's a reel. It says world is what it shows, is what I'm seeing. World readable. Public. For those reels. That means, yeah, it says public. That is weird. Unless people are not following Datu Tim Hartman.
Well, and okay.
But public shouldn't matter. Public means public.
But Renee is in there. See, that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
I mean, okay.
Weird.
So I looked at my list.
Mm-hmm.
Now I like Ty even more. You never liked him. You always like Ty more.
Nice.
No, but I mean, I looked up. Well, here right now. I mean, I went to my Datu page while he had me on, as he was messaging me back and forth, and I looked at my block list. He's not on that.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at my following list. Who's following me? He is on that.
Okay.
I'd ask you what post it is, but you can't see it.
Right. Yeah. Which one didn't you see?
Yeah. But I mean, today was okay. So today was get the F out of FMA.
Okay. I didn't see that one yet.
Yeah. So. Oh, I just got a heart as I mentioned it. It just popped up. I put it over on FMA discussion as well. See what they say on that. I have been having my fan club loves me. I've been listening to my fan club say stuff. So, yeah, I'm waiting to. Oh, here we go. Renee sent me something. I'm gonna stop this. Open this up. Here, let me. Oh, Tim Hartman. Well, you know what? Let me look at me personally. Let me look at myself. I recently got rid of. I blocked a bunch of. Maybe I did block you. It could be an oops moment. I will find out. It takes me a minute, because I'm old. And okay, so let me go to me. And then do I want to look at my dashboard? Would that be the way to go? Fan engagement, public. I'll look at this. Oh, here you talk for a minute. I'm just that's what I'm.
I haven't had any troubles with visibility stuff, but my tan looks awesome. Actually, so training in the park yesterday, I actually did get a little sun. Luckily, I guess it didn't burn. So we had fun. We did basic. So as long as a new guy showed up, Bill Reedy, one of Bruce Chu's students when he was up here, passed him over to me because he's training him as well. But he wanted to have a little more time, so he's going to do both of us. So that was good. Did that. Did some basics. He's only been with him a couple lessons, so got him started good. But anyway, yeah, I got some sun there. That's what you're seeing, Renee. I normally don't because I burn really, really easy. Or blushing. Maybe it's blush, not a tan.
I'll let you do this while I try to figure out what's going on here.
Sure.
This is annoying the hell out of me.
Now Renee might not have had a good time at the WEKAF tournament because different kind of sparring. I don't know. I think all sparring is fun. All the different rules, right? You just work within the rules. You hope for consistent judging and you have fun. So if it's tag, it's tag. If it's rock'em sock'em robots, it's rock'em sock'em robots. Everything in between. Oh, you did? Okay. Okay, Renee. What'd you think? Or would what you think now be different than what you maybe would have thought it back then? Oh, you were still disqualified.
Of course you were. Of course you were.
Yep, that does not surprise me. Nice. To be fair, I did bring up, I did discuss with a few of them about the armor and the costs of that. Not in terms of dollars, right? The armor is expensive, but also in terms of what it tends to hide, I guess, or emphasize or de-emphasize. And they all seem to recognize that. They got it.
Huh. So I'm looking at this right now.
Yep.
Okay, I'll pull this up here. So you help me.
I can't see, but
I'll be pulling this up right
now. Okay. Well, Renee he said he threw a punch when he lost his stick, and I'm like, that sounds good to me, but yeah, not in the rules. I got it.
All right. So
out there,
okay,
I can't read it.
There's Renee.
Yeah.
So message Renee, unfollow Renee, block Renee's profile, unfriend Renee.
Okay.
He comes up as my friend.
That's not what he just said.
I know, but this is what he sent me. Oh,
That's right.
refresh.
Facebook thinks you're friends. Got it.
So here's what he sent me.
This content isn't available right now. Weird. Maybe it's something to do with the way those things get posted. I mean, it might be worth a question to the team if they've seen that before.
Yeah, I'll have to check shit out.
But according, what you're seeing on your side, there's no difference between you and Renee and me and Renee, right? It's the same settings for both of us, and I see them.
Yeah, I'll tell him that.
There you go. Wait, you mean the Taekwondo Federation?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good.
I'll tell you, Taekwondoers.
Wait, Renee doesn't live in China or something where they block all this stuff.
Toronto could be the same.
Oh, maybe it's international. I see. Could be, yeah. A bandwidth problem. It might read the same, depending on how it handles errors and handshaking.
Yeah.
But it's hosted on Facebook, right? So it'd be all.
Yeah.
And you've posted lots of things that haven't had this problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it was that. It's how many people has it been happening with? Because I know it's more than Renee.
Bob Chesbro told me that he had some problems. Well, the views that I'm getting,
He's been reported a few times.
Take my dough.
I finally got one of my posts removed on my normal page on Facebook. That was weird, and I couldn't find out what it was because I couldn't see what they removed. So I'm like, okay, that's not helpful.
How do you fix it if they don't?
Right. It might have been my PAD meme. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Could be.
So, so right now I'm kind of up in the air with what's going on. There's a good chance I was planning on going. There's a much better chance now that I will actually go to compete. Hey, Zach.
Okay. Hey, Zach.
So,
well, if you go, I'm sure you'll report back here and we'll talk about it. It'll be good.
Leaving for Spain in a couple hours. Oh, catch you guys later.
Oh, wow. Take care. Safe travels, man.
Good trip. Safe trip.
Yes, we have to 19. This one was from last August, so who knows? But yeah, I can't tell. I should. I don't have any hats down here. Ooh, I could turn off this. But then I look really red. It's not that bad. You see my Chris up there?
Oh, yeah, I did see that handle. Last week it was there too, right?
Yeah, my mom sent me some old weapons we had from Malaysia. I thought that was a handy place to put it.
So, how did you overall? How do you like the weekend?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The drive was pretty easy. Good visiting. I like the gathering we had back over at Carlos's school, Kick Connection. Grandmaster Carlos's hosted everybody and got a bunch of extra food and some adult beverages and treats, and we just visited and hung out, and it was very, very low key, very comfortable, and they were very appreciative that not only competitors but everyone that helped out. It was good. Hey,
Eric.
Eric, how you doing? I still have to see if Eric ever seen my friend Andrew there. He also lives in Portland, so I'm sure you guys will run across each other. He's not into martial arts, though. He moves like plywood with hinges. That's his words, not mine. let's see. Matt Jones wondering if we're going to SMAF next year. I mean, I can go to SMAF if one, I'm made aware of it, and two, they want me to. Neither of those things happened in time for me to do anything about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mark has been having problems with getting things done reasonable timing.
I get it. It's
You know,
tough, but
yeah, I mean, we do our schedule. Well, I mean, we've got things on our schedule 2 to 3 years down the road.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And we're not the only people who do that.
Oh, you got to. I mean, I just this year, even with that, I hadn't done my year-long calendar like I usually do, and it mattered because now I've double booked myself, or nearly so double booked myself for 2 weekends out of this year. It's crazy. I mean, you think about it. There's only really 50 or so weekends during a year that you can actually use that aren't taken up by other things. So it's pretty easy to have collisions if you're active.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and that's I'm dealing with that right now. I mean, SEALOC Camp World Championships, the World Championship information came late to me, you know.
Mm.
You know, so who knows, you know, just a lot of it's a pain in the ass at times. Yeah.
Yep. But I would say if anybody wants you or me or anybody they want to be sure of, plan early and communicate. Works out pretty good. And I'm victim of that too, right? I wasn't able to plan my own event for the spring, so I, instead of trying to make it half-assed, I went ahead and postponed it so we can do it later when I can do it right.
Where in Oregon is your friend?
Oh, gosh, no, he's in Portland, but I can't remember where it's at. It's I want to say north of town center. There's sort of a hills. It's been a long time since I've been there. His name's Andrew Migliori. So there you go. If you find him, tell him say hi from Ty, and he'll be very confused. He runs an annual Lovecraft festival at a local old timey theater there. It's a big event. Evidently, all the people that are into H.P. Lovecraft stuff. But anyway, distracted here.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, so just in general, on a side note, what we want to do is get a calendar out. I use Publisher because it's easy. And I do a calendar a year in advance. And as every month changes, we go through another. I do the following month for the next. I do that same month for the next year. Once the month is expired, so I'm already working on April's calendar for next year. And I have things that are, like I said, I have things that are planned out in advance, but I still, farther than that, but I still try to do, you know, get that going. And the big thing is so you can massage the calendar as things happen.
Yep. Some things are movable, some things aren't.
So the problem I'm running into now, so most likely I'm moving the camp 1 week early, or we move it into August, which I don't think we can do that. So we move it 1 week early. It's a weekend tournament that I have to go to. So Janice would end up running the SEALOC camp day one, or at least part of day one. And with you guys who are showing up, you know, I know Craig's coming for it, and, you know, but, you know, then we would do is she would run the beginning of the camp, and then I would get there as soon as I was done and come back, you know. Sounds like Kalaka. There that is. And then sounds like Clackamas, Oregon. If there is a time.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, no, it's Portland proper. There's the big giant bookstore. I remember going sort of down the hill and across maybe even a river before we got to that big giant famous bookstore, used bookstore. But no, it's Portland for sure. Maybe that's a suburb. I have no idea. God, last time I've been there was, oh gosh, decades ago. Yeah.
So, well, like I said, I'm going. I just don't know what capacity I'm going. And,
he was asking if I was considered going, but I don't know if I can swing that because we're going back in end of February next year too. So
well, I looked at the tickets.
Mm.
I'm not pleased with the tickets.
Oh, because it's so close.
I have no because it's summer.
Summer. Okay, really? Okay.
Yeah, and to make it economical, I have to use $900 of vouchers.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's like $2,600.
Wow. Powell's Books. Yep, that's it. That's it. Yep. Cool. It's a cool store.
So I'm watching things. We'll see how things go. It might just be too early to get a flight as well.
Oh, could be. Yep.
I mean, we're talking July. It's April.
Well, maybe you can get on like a schooner and ship yourself over.
Could be. Could happen. Could happen.
or a balloon around the world in 80 days. Oh, that's probably too long.
That's too long.
Okay. All right.
80 minutes would work. I need to get the
that would be great.
The plane that Tom Cruise used in the last in Top Gun Maverick that went Mach 10 and then blew up because he went to watch Mach 10.2 or whatever. And
okay. All right.
So I hopped on that. I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Still be a while.
Mach 10, that would make things a lot quicker.
Sure, definitely.
So, I mean, how fast does a commercial plane fly?
Let's see. I want to say Mach 0.6 or something.
0.6. So, that's 16 hours of flights at that speed. So,
so 2 hours maybe or something.
10 hours quicker, or 10 times quicker. We could have,
hour or two. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's pretty good. Well, that's what they're doing nowadays with hypersonics, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Because they go up and then back in.
Okay.
So they can go super duper. Yeah. Anyway, geeking out. Sorry. Rich will appreciate it. Yep. Well, good. So far, I haven't heard any questions or comments on stuff.
Yeah.
We could, if anybody doesn't have any last little go backs, we don't need to go on rambling, dragging people down, I guess, too much. I'm biased, guys, because I actually warned Datu that I'm pretty dang tired, so I don't mind if you guys are done.
I think we nailed it. Yes, I am.
There you go.
But I mean, that's according to Rich. I go, yep. I think, why continue if we got it done right,
Yep. Yeah, if you want a good group to hang out with or good events, check out some of GM Carlos stuff. He's very welcoming. Does a good event.
Yeah, I would, like I said, you got to find, if you want to compete in a tournament, which not everyone does.
Right.
You got to find out what rules work best for you.
Right.
I was happy overall. There are some things I would change, and here's the problem: I am the toughest critic out there because I run tournaments, so I know what I like. I know my whole thing is about being more efficient. Good rest. Yep. And Darren, I hope you didn't just sign on.
That's right. All right. That was a good show. See you, everybody.
Literally, we are signing off.
That's right. Hey, girl, Darren, how you doing?
Hey, Darren, you come up in Buffalo this time?
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, people are beginning to register. Last minute. You know how it is. Yeah. So, yeah, lots of stuff going on, but yeah. So, Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. He's going. Good.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then Dean Franco is our special guest, which is always going to be fun. Let's not drag it out any longer. We actually talked about everything that needs to. This is an early episode for us. Holy cow! How do we get this? It's 9:32.
Yep, that's what we were used to be aiming for back in the day.
Yeah. And we gave up.
Well, it's all the people participating, which definitely helps.
It's the topic too. This is an easier topic, and I think also this went out today. It didn't go up over the weekend, because there's that other topic. I was hoping to have that person to be on our show. Well, Grandmaster Carlos has gone to the Philippines. He left today, so he would have been on the show. We would have went longer because we would have talked about more things.
Yep.
How do you get involved with WEKAF? How do you do this? How do you do that? Blah blah blah. Okay. Well, another thing is we've got, like I said, I put this up last minute, so we don't have the same, prep time. There's probably less people who knows about it, the show this week. But it is what it is. It's not a big deal. You know what? And how much do we need to talk about it?
Well, we do have before we go though, we do have two things coming up. We should probably
yes, which we're gonna plug that right now. So, so right now, the first thing we're gonna talk about is this coming weekend we will be in New Hampshire for the New Hampshire Martial Arts Symposium. It is the 20th anniversary. So we will be there along with Mike and May Williams, who I was talking about earlier today. Dean Franco. Steve Lefebvre, Carlos Bonchak, and Miguel Ruby are joining us from the West Coast. This is an event that's got a huge quantity of Filipino martial art practitioners.
Yep.
And that's not that's about a tenth of the people who are teaching at this event. It is a huge event. Bill Wallace, Dave Kovar, Bruce Chutnick, and others will be there. So great event, great opportunities. Yeah. And then the following weekend, the 26th to the 28th, is the World Martial Arts Alliance Spring Camp, our World Camp. That'll be in West Seneca, a suburb of Buffalo, New York. Still have time to sign up for that. And PG Ty and others will be teaching with us. And Dean Frankel will be our special guest. So, and then after that, it's up in the air. There's so much stuff going on.
Yep.
Too much to track.
Always something.
And then if you haven't watched, go to Datu Hartman on Facebook or go to Datu Hartman on Tim Hartman on YouTube or Instagram. Look Datu Hartman up. You'll see it. My daily posts today is Get the F Out of FMA. I talk about all things important, basic stuff, advanced stuff, most importantly, how not to get into cuddling, aka Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But evidently they didn't get my joke.
But you have fun, you enjoy it too. But yes.
They did not appreciate my humor. And for the record, I was talking about this today. I was the first person to offer a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program in Buffalo. Of course, my haters don't care about that. That's fine.
Oh, well.
All right. Well, listen, that's all the events, I think.
Yep. For now.
And there's other stuff going on as usual. Make sure with this whole project of me with all these videos, people are asking me left and right on places to train. So if you're not part of our organization, send me your contact information. If you're teaching, study group, something like that, who you are, what you do, how to get a hold of you, and where you're located. Okay. Yep. So that way, if someone says, hey, because right now someone's looking for a place in Boise, Idaho. I don't know anybody in Boise, Idaho.
Right.
So I'm working on things, but I don't know anybody there. I've looked some stuff up. A lot of times I send people to Jeet Kune Do schools because they have a minor in FMA. I don't want to send people that have a minor in FMA. I want to send people who specialize in FMA.
Yep.
So But if you got a website, karate website or stuff like that, and you don't have it on the website at all, I don't want to talk to you. I mean, if I'm gonna, if to me, I don't think that you're taking that personal. Maybe I'm being a snob on that, but there's another database out there that I looked at, and here's FMA. Then you go to it, and there's no listing of it on their website whatsoever. So how legit can that be? So, but whatever. I'm not gonna sweat the little things. So, all right, guys. Well, listen, this is always a pleasure.
Yep. Thanks, everyone, for sure.
Had a blast. Looking forward to more shows and seeing some of you guys in person. And a lot of projects coming down. I mean, this is today was our 8th episode
of this season. This is 3rd or 4th season. I can't remember.
This is our 4th season. So this is episode 408, not 408. Episode
right.
Season 4, episode 8.
Okay.
So I've numbered them. Also, if you're looking at them on YouTube, they are now officially in a podcast listing.
Okay.
And and they're grouped by seasons now. So I have them all listed in seasons. So someone wants to, hey, what did you do in season 1? I don't know. Go look.
Right. I don't know.
So, all right. Listen, everybody, please stay safe and stay sane. This is Dr. Tim.
PG Ty. Everyone take care.
All right. And see you all soon.